The solving PMP question is both of art, skill, and science. So skills get developed with the practice. Straightforward. Skills get developed with the practice. So let me tell you straightforward this thing. And in the PMP, all topics are interlinked. For example, today we covered two topics, fundamental and stakeholder. When you will be solving the question for fundamentals and stakeholder, there will be questions from the other topics interlinked. So be patient, be calm. Once those topics you will go through, will also start getting. But that does not mean you stop yourself. You will still able to do the questions right. So we will solve the question, you and I. I will share what are the best practices and what to do and what not to do. But the most important thing in PMP exam, in PMP question, is the opposite of what people do. People rush towards solving the question. The fundamental, the step number one is slow down. Slow down. Because the time is more than enough in PMP exam. The time is more than enough. People think that time is less. No, 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 no. Time is not less. Time is actually more than enough in PMP exam. What you need to know is how to solve the question. What are the best way and how you can solve it. So I'll share with you. I just shared those files in the group. I will share this template with you. Okay. Yeah. Slow down. Step number one, slow down and try to understand the context of the question, what the question is saying. If you don't slow down, actually you need to read it again and again. So slow down. Then try to read the question as you are trying to explain someone else. The best way is always to teach other. So read the question as you are explaining someone else what is written. If the question is more than 3 lines, read the last line first. Now this is an optional thing. Either you can read the last line first and go to the question, or you can read the last line and read the options. That is on your choice. Now, when you read the question, read it slowly. Every question has one particular problem. 180 question, one problem. Try to understand what is the problem in the question and try to identify the keywords in the question. What are the keywords? If not mentioned, all questions considered as a hybrid. Okay. Try to identify, is the question belongs to initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, or closing. I did share that how you can identify. Initiation, only 3 things: charter, assumption log, stakeholder, identifying the stakeholder, stakeholder register. Planning, you are making the plans, how to do. Execution, you are implementing it. Monitoring and control is always comparing, raising the change request. Closing is closing. Now the most important thing. The first important thing was slow down. Second important thing. All are important steps, but these are like you VVVIP. So these are those steps. Elimination technique. Go through every single option. There will be 4 options. Considering it is the right option. Consider each option as a right option unless you have a reason to say this is not the right option because of this. You have a justification to justify why this option is a wrong option. And if you think option A is the right, you are 100% sure, still go and eliminate every single option with the justification why this is the wrong option. Then having an agile mindset, like keep open your mind. What is agile? We'll get into that tomorrow. Now, once the question is done, now this is after the question. Analyze each question, what you did right, both right and wrong question, what you did wrong, what one lesson you can get from there. So for example, let me show you. This is one of the format of the lesson learned used by one of the student. He uses these templates. This is for those who have already cleared the PMP. He used this template to solve his question. Like this is the good one. From every question, he put a remark why this is right or wrong. This question belongs to agile, predictive, hybrid. For every single thing, he used this lesson. This is one way. Let me show you another way. Okay, so there are other Excel files. I opened it. Okay, just give me a second. Yeah. So another made by another student. What he did, he just identified the topic, put the description, and put the explanation of it. Another way to do the lesson plan. Okay. So then the third way, yeah. This is another way. What this student did, he took a question, put it that this question belonged to which topic. Even he put the question. I don't recommend what the question was, but he put it there. That's your call. You just put the topic name and question number. You can always go back to that. You have the questions with you. But then he went a further step. He put justification why each option is wrong. Why each option is wrong. From detailed to less. How you do the root cause, that's on you. These are the three practices used by three different students I shared. Everyone can use a different. But as a basis, you must get one lesson learned from one question. Am I clear? Okay. So let's solve the question. We'll get back to this, how solving the questions sheets also. So now I'll ask any one of you to solve the question and then we will take it from there. Okay. If anyone wants to volunteer, they can raise the hand. I want to solve the question. Okay. Asan, please solve this question. Asan, unmute yourself. Read the question so that other people can.
Yeah. At what stage of the project do stakeholders have the greatest ability to influence a project? During execution, project start, throughout the project life cycle, at project end. So I should say why I'm eliminating, right?
Yes, yes.
So
Every option.
during execution, the internal ones won't have bigger influence, like sponsors they can do in start as well.
Okay.
At project start, the external ones won't have biggest influence because they have during the execution normally, like local community or someone.
Okay.
Throughout the project life cycle, yes, it's correct. At the project end, of course, so it's eliminated. Project end is nothing.
Okay.
You can't influence. That's only customer.
So your
So
answer
throughout
will
the
be
project life, yeah.
okay.
See.
Now the question, the key word in the question was greatest. The
Greatest.
question
Yeah.
did not ask when they have the ability. The question asked when they have the greatest ability. Now just go back what we studied in fundamental. What I said, if the business case is rejected, then the project is
Not started.
so they have the greatest influence when start
At the start.
at
Yeah. So
start initiation. So now what you will do, you will open up your Excel file, put the question number one, topic this, and get the lesson learned maybe like this. But what I would do, the lesson learned at the start of the project, stakeholders have greatest influence because they can cancel the project. Okay. They have the influence throughout the project, but greatest ability at the start project. Okay. Well done.
okay.
Okay. Izaz, you raised your hand, please. Izaz. Izaz, you raised your hand. You raised your hand. Na? You want to solve?
Actually, that was related to a previous question.
No,
That
now,
is okay
now
now.
solve this one, na.
Yeah, okay.
Please.
Okay, which data representation technique is used during the planned stakeholder engagement process to visually depict the current versus desired engagement level for each stakeholder? Although it's straightforward, but still, stakeholder register has nothing to do with the current versus desired engagement. Now, power interest grid. Again, that is power and interest, not current and desired. Communication strategy has nothing to do. The last one is D, stakeholder engagement assessment metrics. So while we are assessing the engagement which comes near to current and desired, so it seems D is okay.
So very well answered. The question, the keyword in the question was like which is the tool where we have the stakeholder engagement metrics, and this was the right answer. So very well done, I would say. And this is the right answer. The lesson learned for this question would be stakeholder engagement metrics as current and desired. Again, you need to do lesson learn for both the right as well as wrong questions. Okay, let's do that question number third. Who also raised their hand? I forget. Two people raised his hand. Okay. Mohit, please.
Okay, sir. Uh, which of the following is a tool and technique used during the managed stakeholder engagement process to achieve support or agreement that supports the work of the project and to resolve conflicts within the team or with stakeholders? So the first option is negotiation, political awareness, cultural awareness, observation, and conversation. So the question is asking tool and technique used during the last line. So conflicts within the team stakeholders.
Yes, Mohit, I am losing your voice along the way. What is your answer?
Stakeholder and manage stakeholder engagement.
So you did not identify the keyword. You need to read the question again. That's the bad thing. This is the first question we got more than 3-liner. So
3 lines.
so you
Last
need
line to be
you
correct.
if you had last here we did not had last line, but when you are reading the question, try to identify the keyword. The keywords are, we are looking for the tool and technique when in managed stakeholder engagement. For why? To reach support or agreement of the project and to resolve conflict. So we are looking for a tool and technique which can resolve the conflict. So which of these tools and technique will help to us to resolve the conflict? Yes.
Political awareness has nothing to do with this.
Okay.
And cultural awareness can be one answer, but that is not with the engagement process.
Yeah.
It can be, if we say in diversity,
Mm-hmm.
then cultural awareness can be an answer. But it is asking about resolving. So cultural awareness may not be the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Then we will go with A and D. So A is negotiation and D is observation and conversation. So I think that supports the work of the project is observation and conversation should be the first thing.
Okay. What is this word?
Conflict.
What is the purpose of negotiations?
Negotiation we do to actually resolve the conflicts between
You missed the important keyword, conflict. That was in the last line. If you just focus on conflict, A is the straightforward answer. Yes or no? Yes or no? So this is
right.
you need more awareness, focus, seeing how the questions are, and working into understanding the right question. Now the lesson learned can be multiple lessons learned here. The purpose of our negotiation is to handle the conflict. Purpose of culture awareness is to understand how each culture work. Political awareness is to understand the political dynamics. Observation and conversation is to communicate properly. Okay. Yeah. So Mohit, is it clear?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes, Izaz.
I want to discuss why not D, observation and conversation, because once you are doing conversation, then you are also negotiating with someone.
Not
So
necessary.
you have,
Not necessary. Conversation can be simple talking.
yeah, but if you are observing something, because observation is still there. So if you
Okay.
noticed something, if
Okay.
you noticed something, then you are going to discuss something. Otherwise, if it is a simply conversation, then it is okay, that can be excluded. But if there is an observation,
Mm-hmm.
means you have noticed something,
Mm-hmm.
then you are going to have conversation with them, and that may be part of or type of negotiation as well, is not it?
Okay. So you will observe what you are saying. Then you
Yeah,
will have a conversation and then
yeah.
you will have a negotiation. Right?
Yes, you are
Yes.
right.
So directly
Yes.
we have a negotiation here. Right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. So who would be a next volunteer? Let me ask a female. Amadia? Amadia, are you with me?
Yes, yes, I am.
So you
So, okay.
solve this.
Which of the following activities should the team not engage in while completing stakeholder analysis? Due to recent merger, your company has increased its headcount 25%. The influx of new individuals makes the process of stakeholder identification analysis more difficult. Which due to classifying stakeholders to define a pro strategy, analyzing the communication requirement of stakeholders, identifying the potential impact of each stakeholder, identifying all potential project stakeholders. Which of the following activities should the team not engage in while completing stakeholder analysis? Similarly, increase the influx of new individuals make the process of stakeholder information analysis more difficult. The potential impact identifying all which of the following activities should the team not engage in while completing the stakeholder? Mm, mm. Identifying the potential base. Oh God, impact of having all potential project stakeholders. The influx of new individuals make the process of stakeholder identification analysis more difficult. And the influx of new individuals. Sorry. Oh
Okay.
shit.
No problem. Ameda, tell me one thing. What was the first principle of solving the question?
That we need to slow down.
And what
I
you
read
did?
the.
And what you did?
I okay.
What you no, no, tell me what you did. I want you to say what you did. You rush.
Uh,
It's okay. It's the first time you are solving question live. That's an entirely normal thing. So let's walk
mhm.
with me. Let's read the
Okay.
question slowly. And while we are reading the question from the last line, let's keep identifying the keywords to understand the context of the question. Now, what has happened with you, Madhya? You have read the question rushly that I want to solve it. I understand it. And then you could not identify any keyword. You keep on going on the question. Now time is up. Now you are panic. Am I right?
100%.
Let's solve this question slowly. Please read this slowly.
Which which of the following activities should the team not engage in while completing the stakeholder? Yeah, not is the
Not,
word.
not
Yeah.
what not to do. What not to do?
Yeah.
Not engage in what? In completing.
While completing stakeholder analysis.
So the last line is saying what you will not do while doing stakeholder analysis.
Analysis.
Now we
Mhm.
know what are the steps of stakeholder analysis: identifying the stakeholder, categorizing them upward, downward, putting them into the power interest,
Matrix. Yeah.
and putting them into the stakeholder register. But what we should not do. Okay, let's read the question. Go back, please.
Due to recent merger, your company has increased its headcount by 25%.
Hmm?
The influx of new individuals makes the process of stakeholder identification and analysis more difficult.
So what has
So
happened?
we are
What has happened? More stakeholders have come to your team. For example, there are 30 students in this class. Let's say 30 more has come. Now we have more stakeholders for me. I need to work with them. Actually, the classical example, before today class, I had till batch 6 to manage. Now also I have batch 7 to manage, right? So I have
Yes.
more way to do that. What I should not do. Let's go to option now. Now question is clear.
Yes. Yes.
Let's go to the options. Go to option A.
Classifying stakeholders to define an approach strategy.
We do that.
Classify.
We classify the stakeholders or not. Upward, downward, sideways.
We do.
So that cannot be the answer. We are looking for what is not, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next.
Then second, analyzing the communication requirements of stakeholders.
Nowhere.
We should.
Where?
Yeah.
Nowhere.
No, I'm saying the opposite of it.
Okay. So let's mark this thing. Guys, as I am highlighting on this, in our simulator, you will not have an option to highlight this, but in the real exam, you will have. So just to point out this thing. Yes, next.
Identifying the potential impact each stakeholder could generate. Yeah, we do that. So that's not an option.
Power
A part of it.
Yeah, so
exactly.
that is okay.
Not option.
Okay.
Identifying all potential project stakeholders, that could be the option.
That
but opposite. Sorry. I think this should also be eliminated, because in our analysis we need to perform this. So we are looking for the not engaging. So that should not be the option. So yeah, B.
Okay. So Madhya, your answer is right. You see, in this class, from all the students who are taking their training for the first time, you have maximum information. I actually stopped you giving videos for a particular reasons. You are moving too quickly.
Okay.
But this is the reason, this is the beauty of PMP. That's why I said science, arts, and skill. This will be developed, but while you are doing the mocks, remember the practice we did. Guys, this is not just for Amadia. This is for every person whose name starts from A till Z. Everyone whose name starts from A till Z, which means everyone, every individual. Don't get confused what I just said. Means that for everyone. Okay. Who will solve the last question for today? Okay, Gagan. Let's go with that.
Let's see what happens here.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Which of the following best describes the scope of what he's trying to achieve? All right. A project manager is known across the organization for his skills and the competency with which he manages his projects. On his current project, you have observed that he spends significant time in communication with the key stakeholders on the status and results of key issues, as well as project status, conflict risk. Which of the following best describes the scope of what he's trying to achieve? So he's obviously keeping stakeholders informed, communicating with them. So what he's trying to achieve, is he doing the planning risk response? No, he's managing stakeholders. That's a key word. Managing stakeholder engagement, possibly yes. Planning resources, no. It's not doing that. Controlling communications, no. He's actually very strongly managing stakeholder engagement. So I think it's B.
Very well answered. Very well answered. And this is the way how you can solve the PMP question. We solved 5 PMP questions, and I guess this gives you how to do the lesson learn, how to do those question answers, and we have multiple problems there in solving the questions. Am I clear, guys, how to solve the PMP question, how to do the lesson learn, or anyone has any confusion? Okay, so let's mark the assignment for tomorrow.